Welcome to a Gold Healing Proving Grounds guide featuring Holy Priests. These are the talents that I recommend taking. These are the glyphs that I prefer to use. And my equipment primarily focuses on mastery. Now, for Holy Priest, you're going to want to be in your Chakra State Serenity for almost the entirety of this fight, as most of the damage is fairly single target on your main tank. Seriously, sometimes this guy seems like he's equipped with paper armor, some of the things that drop him. Now, not to say that there won't be times where other targets and your allies will be taking damage, as right now, this Fire Caller's decided to just unload fireballs on me. But for the most part, most of the damage is going to be on Otto the Protector. And Shadow Priest and Holy Priests are very good at healing single targets within Serenity and upkeeping Renew. For the most part, just your Prayer of Mending procs that you'll be throwing out fairly frequently on targets, and your Circle of Healing that you can spam, pretty much on cooldown, are all you'll really have to worry about. Now in Wave 2, you'll start having to deal with these Jinju ads that will begin applying a debuff on targets called Aqua Bomb. You must dispel this because unfortunately if you don't dispel it and you allow the Aqua Bomb to go off, it's going to do a large amount of AoE damage, and that's just unnecessary damage that you don't really want to heal through. So just make sure you dispel that every opportunity that you get. As you can see, almost all this damage is going on the tank. Pushing Circle of Healing and throwing out your Prayer of Mending is usually more than enough to upkeep your random targets. Now, in the third wave, you gotta start dealing with another new type of ad, and that's the little vermin ads that will apply a debuff on random targets in your party. And when they do that, they will begin taking a damage over time effect that never goes away. The only way to get rid of it is to heal the target over 90% of its HP. So the instant essentially the instant you see that dot appear on a target, heal that person up. If you don't, then they're gonna just keep taking damage, and you're gonna have to keep expending mana to upkeep them. In this case, he just put it on the tank, which makes things pretty simple because you want to be expending most of your heals on the tank anyways. And there, that person just took a bit of damage, but we just throw out that. As you can see, almost all of this healing is just going on the tank. You only occasionally have to throw out stuff on the other targets, like, for example, Key the Assassin just got that Chomp debuff for the bleeding, and I just swapped it back to the tank. Holy Priests have a lot of burst healing that they can do, which is very important, especially with your Light Well sitting out there as a catch, just in case to help you if the target starts going down. Now, Wave 5 is your first wave where you're probably going to have to blow a cooldown on. I recommend Divine Hymn. Wave 5 just has a lot of damage going out. Now, the wave doesn't start out hard. In fact, it just starts out with a Jinju ad that you have to dispel, of course, the Aqua Bombs whenever it applies. It also has one of the annoying little vermin ad. As you can see, I just have to top him off. Dispel that. Let's go ahead and throw out a flash heal. Oh, got another flash heal. Instant cast this time. Oh, and sometimes some of your allies just don't really feel like moving. As you can see, I'm spamming some really powerful heals here. And I'm just going to go ahead and push Divine Hymn, just to help top off the whole raid group. And an Aqua Bomb detonated, which isn't good, but Divine Hymn helps top people off. And they're gonna, of course, the main problem with channeling Divine Hymn is that you can't cast anything or do anything while it's active. So unfortunately, Divine Hymn, while a very powerful cooldown, can F you up too. And of course will yell at you and be angry with you whenever you miss an Aqua Bomb. Now, in Wave 6, you start having to deal with these large Mogu ads, and these guys hit like frigging trucks. So just make sure they primarily only hit the tank though, so really you don't have to worry about massive AoE damage, just get ready to spam heals on the tank. And Holy Priests are very good with that. So you just unload your heals on the tank, and you're good to go. Now you kind of get a few little break waves almost. After wave 5 and 6. The next few waves aren't incredibly damage reliant. Doesn't mean you still, of course, can't fail if you're not paying immense attention to your tank, but for the most part they're not as problematic. And there's the damage on the tank. Go ahead and heal him out. I'm going to go ahead and throw out a Cascade just to top everybody off. And keep healing the tank. Prayer Mending. As you can see, mostly you just want to be spamming heals on the tank. My Light Well has fallen off, so I'm going to go ahead and refresh that. I'm going to go ahead and throw off more heals on the tank. And I'm just going to go ahead and spread a Renew around because I like doing that. Use my free flash heal on that. And after that, we now get a grand long 20-second break at the end of wave 7. I'll just go ahead and use regular heals because it's pretty cheap on myself. And there I get an instant cast Prayer of Mending proc, which just boom 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 instantly heals everything. And I just proceed to sit here and regenerate some mana. Fly Renew again to Oto. You gotta worry about, of course, the giant Mogu, and there's a Pyroblast casting Flame Caller that will be focusing on other people. Put a Renew out. He starts yelling about it being a wall of iron, even though he's practically full HP. He does this every time I do this, and with every single class. There we go. We go ahead and top off with my free Prayer of Mending. Throw a Renew on that person. As you can see, almost all of your focus is going to be on your tank. Just throw out a little Renew, cast out your Prayer of Mending occasionally. If the only time you really have to swap off of the tank and focus other healers, other members of the party hard, are when they get applied with a Chomp debuff, and you have to really spam. I'll go ahead and push this Arcane Torrent just to regenerate a little bit more mana because I'm a Blood Elf. It's not really that important, but it helps out. Alrighty, now we've got another big ad that we got to deal with. This is going to be a lot of damage in wave 9 on the tank, so just be prepared for that. As you can see, I've got 2 flash heals saved up for whenever he decides to start spiking down, which he probably will right about now. And there's that. I'm going to go ahead and Guardian Spirit him. And flash heal. And throw out a Cascade just for a bit of AoE. Make sure we start dispelling. Wave 9, yes, you guessed it, it starts where, you know, that's the seriousness comes in again. Gotta start really throwing out those big heals. There's the Aqua Bomb, make sure you dispel that. Go ahead and throw out a Circle of Healing. Let's keep spamming our regular heal. Really, you shouldn't have to push flash heal very much to actually top off everybody. Generally speaking, you'll just be casting your regular heal, your Prayer of Mending, and your power word Serenity to top off your targets. And now we've got a few seconds, and the last wave. As you see, we've still got over half of our mana. So really you shouldn't be having any mana problems. Final wave. Of course, in this wave, you can go ahead, I'm just going to go ahead and throw out my Shadow Fiend. I'm going to go ahead and push that. Since we've got some spare mana, just to be on the safe side, I'm going to throw out some flash heals. And throw out a Prayer of Mending, and of course just keep spamming heal. Even if the target doesn't look like he's taking a lot of damage, upkeep that heal, just because you don't want to accidentally let him drop too low and then have to spam flash heal to keep him up. And I'm going to go ahead and throw out a Prayer of Healing and top everybody up and dispel that. Make sure, of course, you're always looking out for those Aqua Bombs. Don't get too tied up in healing up the whole group that you forget the Aqua Bombs. And go ahead and spam some heals, dispel the Aqua Bomb. Remember to primarily upkeep the tank. He's the one he's the only one that's really gonna suddenly start spiking in HP. none of the other targets really will spike up and down in HP. You can get worn down with your allies, but for the most part, your tank is the only one who's going to suddenly just unexpectedly drop for really no apparent reason. And some waves, and sometimes when doing Proving Grounds, he drops faster than others. So it's sometimes difficult to tell exactly when he's going to really suddenly start spiking up and down, so just always be prepared for it. So again, Holy Priests, not too problematic, not too difficult to get through Gold Proving Grounds in comparison to some of the other healers, but always upkeep your light well. I kind of forgot it there at the end, but it's a good idea to always keep it up. Make sure you keep your primary focus on your tank, throw out your Prayer of Mendings, hit your Circle of Healings whenever there's any kind of sustained damage, and keep your main focus on the tank. That's the big thing. Don't get distracted and trying to top up your allies. Even if they're at 60% HP, they're not going to suddenly drop down just unexpectedly. You don't need to top them off. Just rely on your Prayer of Mendings and your Circle of Healings to upkeep them, and focus on the tank. Thanks for watching, and I hope this guide helps.